Welcome back, viewers. Today we will be testing the 3x envelope indicator. But before we do, if you have not watched my first video and the videos after that, you need to go do that right now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team, and as a team, we will all profit from it when we are done. You can find a link to the first video down in the description below. You can also find a link to our Discord server, so that way we can all discuss testing indicators and building our trading system. And lastly, you can find a link below to TradingView. If you sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money using the link below. Alright, as I said, today we will be testing the 3x envelope indicator. But before we do, wanted to put the indicator scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested 80 indicators. And out of those 80 indicators, 25 of them have been winners, which means that they have met or exceeded the 60% win-loss ratio threshold that we have set for them. The best two so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now, you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how they were able to achieve that. But as we are working on building the best trading system possible, you could take any one of those 25 indicators and get out there and start potentially profitably trading the markets with them now. So go back, watch those videos, make a list of those indicators, and get out there and see what you can do with them. But stick with us here as we work on maximizing your trading profits. Alright, as I said, the indicator today is the 3x envelope indicator. And as you can see, it's down here on the bottom of the screen. It is basically the envelope indicator times 3. And so, pretty simple. If I come back here a little bit, obviously these lines are going to represent different levels of support and resistance. And unfortunately, it gets rather subjective when we start dealing with multiple lines that could or could not be perceived as support or resistance. And I'm sure there is multiple different ways that you could go about using this indicator. You could, for example, say every time price breaks up above the blue line or below the blue line and then enters back in across that blue line, then that would be a signal to go either short or long. So there's an example of a particular way that we could trade this particular indicator. You could say that every time the price action gets down in the red area, that could be considered oversold. Every time it gets up into the upper red line here, that could be overbought. And so it does get a little challenging when we have an indicator like this that is rather subjective. It does kind of get into the territory of just using your intuition and the eye that you start to achieve after a long time of watching stocks and Forex pairs and how they trade, and just the longer you look at it, the longer you watch currency pairs and test currency pairs and trade currency pairs, is the longer you just kind of get an eye for things that you've seen over and over and over. And so, that works well for some people who can just kind of, look at the chart and give a quick, calculation of, yeah, it looks like it might do this or it might do that. But unfortunately, I am a little bit more of a definitive style trader. I want definite yes or no answers when I should or should not enter a trade or exit a trade. And so, with that being said, how I am going to look at trading this indicator is if price action breaks above the envelope zone, then that is very strong movement in the pair, and we should go long. If it breaks down below the envelope zone, then that is strong movement in a downtrend, and we should go short. There's something that I've learned how to trade and how to read indicators from many different sources out there. But one in particular that one guy in particular, his name escapes me off the top of my head, that I learned a lot of how to read indicators from. He once explained something rather interesting when it came to the RSI. And so the RSI, as you know, the relative strength index, is a overbought, oversold indicator, right? But there are many, many times that the RSI goes into overbought territory, and it continues to go. Just because, well, first of all, one of the issues with the RSI, for example, is the fact that it's capped. I forget what the top number is, but it caps out, right? It doesn't just keep going an infinite number. And same way going down, it doesn't just continue to go an infinite number. And so there's a cap to the indicator, but not necessarily a cap to the price action. And so what that leads to is these, what you could probably consider to be a divergence, where the indicator is maxed out in its upper position, but the stock or the currency pair just continues to go and go and go and go up, right? And so he painted the picture of the RSI as a, oddly enough, hence the name, strength indicator, right? And not strength as in losing the strength, but strength as in once the currency pair or stock entered into the overbought area or the oversold area, that is actually strength, an indicator of strength in that particular trend, in that particular movement, that direction, right? You might see a small correction where price does a small pullback, just because it's such a psychological indicator where anybody who knows anything about the RSI says, it's overbought, so it needs to pull back some, and it's going to reverse. But a lot of the times, it actually does a small pullback and then continues back in the original direction that it was going in. I've said that many times, even while I was testing the RSI. And so you can look at the RSI as a strength meter, and once it comes up into that area or down into that area, it's actually a strength, an indicator of strength in that particular trend direction, right? And so I'm looking at the envelope, this particular area, this particular indicator, very similar to that. I'm looking at it as an indicator of real strong movement in the trend, one way or the other. And this middle area, we could consider it to be a chop zone, a filter of a choppy market, a ranging market. And so I know this is pretty wide and we're probably not going to get a lot of signals out of this in 1 year's time, but it is possible that we might be able to go in. Haven't tried it yet. Yeah, it's possible that we could go in and we could, yeah, we could go in and we could modify the, matter of fact, I think I might do that. I think I might leave it, let's see here. Oh, let's do this. Let's keep it on the default settings for now. We'll test it that way and see what we get out of it, and then we can play around with it at a later time. You guys can play around with it. You guys can throw it on your charts and test it and tweak it and see if we, if we change the settings on it, if we get, a little bit more responsive movement, better signals, or what. I mean, the bad part about it is that it does, run into these areas where it is just up here, forever, running, and not down here within the indicator itself. It's not interacting with the indicator at all. There we go. It finally came down and dropped into it. You can see how that can lead to, look, we're at half a year now and haven't got a single trade out of it yet. And so I don't know how many trades, if any, signals it will give. Ah, there we go. There's the first signal right there. And it broke down below. We had this here. This would have been technically the entry candle there. Looking for 50 pips out of it, and we definitely got it. So there we go. There is one signal out of it, and actually we got another signal out of it right there. Which would have been a winner. And let's see, bumped up there, came back down on that one. Don't believe we'd have gotten 50 pips out of that before getting stopped out on the way back up. Same thing right here. Looks like it popped up. Yeah, stopped us out. Came back down. Broke that lower band. When it did, it does look like, yeah, we got the 50 pips out of it there. So that would have been a win. Let's see. Alright, another breakdown there. Not quite 50 pips. Let's see what it does. Didn't come back up, so that would have still kept us in. And boom, we're at the end of the year. And so, oops, grabbed one of them there. So there we go. What, we got 6 trades and 4 of them are winning trades. So it definitely fell within the 60% criteria. Yeah, I mean, this one's an interesting one. It really is. I mean, obviously it's an under trader, and so we see this. We see this often with under trading indicators, is that they tend to give us a, really high win rate, right? And that's because they're not giving off a lot of signals. We haven't really put them to a really solid test. Um, they say that to test an indicator, you need to get at least 100 signals as a good baseline on whether or not it is truly going to maintain that win-loss ratio, or that percentage that you can get out of it. And so again, it's definitely really challenging for me to do that, testing them this way. That's why I set just kind of a year baseline test. And so that's going to give some, a definite advantage than others. But that's not to say that this couldn't be, a really good indicator to trade. Again, if you consider that you could trade this pair or trade this indicator across, all the different pairs out there, then, you may end up with a really reasonable number of trades in a year's time. And so, and then again, we can go in and tweak the settings, play around with it, and see if we can, really, really dial it in and start to pick up on, some of these really good moves. This is a shame because it really seems like it is missing a lot of these good moves. I mean, just as a whole, it seems like it's really missing a lot of these good moves. And I mean, the thing is, if you did it as, just the cross of the orange line there, I mean, it's possible. It's a thing. I don't know what. I'm assuming that this indicator is it has to be basing this off of some kind of like moving average type mathematical equation. And so, yeah, I mean, this is interesting. Like I said, we could, attempt to trade it off of the break of the middle line, just the center line. I mean, we did something similar with the one of the channels. Forget exactly which one it was, but we could hide all these and just say boom on the break of price action break of that line. Then we could either go short or go long, but then we're kind of back into a moving average type price break situation, right? And so the trick is to find something that we can filter out, ranging market with. That's where the real challenge starts to come in. So we can narrow it down into, maybe pull out those top lines, the green lines. So yeah, I mean, like I said, it just takes some playing, takes some tweaking. We got a good baseline reading off of it. It met the 60% criteria, so it's going to go on the yes list. And then when we, double back around to this, testing process on this particular one, I'll spend a little bit more time, playing with it, tweaking it. Hopefully by then we'll have, a significant amount more people in our Discord server. If you have not joined our Discord, I recommend you do that. We already have a pretty decent little group of people in there who are bouncing ideas off of each other and having conversations and sharing thoughts and and stuff like that. And the more people we get in that Discord server, it's basically just a live chat. More people we have in there is the more that all of us are going to grow and learn as we are playing with these things. Um, but yeah, as you know, we get around to testing this, hopefully we'll have a larger group of followers and a larger group of people in our Discord server that can also throw this on their own charts and play with it and tweak it and test different settings, give their own take on it and see what we can get out of it. See if we can really dial this thing in even more. That goes for all the indicators. That's what we're doing. We're just trying to weed out the ones that are exceptionally better than the rest. And as you can see, there's a whole lot of indicators out there and only a relatively small percentage of them that really, hold up to scrutinizing. So, yeah, nonetheless, this one's going on the yes list, and we will move on to the next indicator from here. If you have not already, like this video, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell notification so that way you are notified anytime I post a new video. As part of the team, it's important that you are seeing the new videos as they come out so you know what it is that we are discussing and what indicators we are testing, have tested, and have not tested. Also, like usual, there is a link below in the description to the Discord server. You can join us on Discord so that way we can further discuss the indicators and have discussions as we move forward building our trading system. And lastly, like usual, there is a link below to TradingView. If you like what you see whenever I use TradingView and you are interested in signing up for TradingView, if you use the link below and sign up for a paid account, you will save a little bit of money. So, alright everybody, I will see you on the next video.